I wanted to take a little quick moment to talk to you a little bit about what the social media plan is, but I wanted you to do some reading before I did this video. I wanted you to take a look at the outline of the social media plan that's on your Northwest online site, as well as look at a couple of the sample plans that I have up there. I'm always amazed at people who don't take advantage of those. These are plans from past classes, and I even make a note, I believe, on there about which ones are really good, but they give you an idea of what your final project is going to look like. Okay, just some from the past, for example, and you do not have to bind it. Obviously, you're an online class, so you're just going to send it to me. But I wanted to just show you some different things. If you treat it in a professional manner like this, if you have a cover page or something like that, it's going to look great in your portfolio. Okay, and then you're just going to have some information. This first part of the social media plan is this part that's due. It's due Tuesday the 16th, okay? It's not due at the end of this week, but it's just 2 days in because I thought you needed a little extra time to kind of understand what the social media plan is. And that's what that reading was for you as well in the IABP game book, that those readings that you were asked to read. It gave you some background. And if you look at the Expansion Plus paper, particularly those 10 steps, that's sort of their dividers in the reading. When you look at that paper, just if nothing else, look at those 10 steps for me, please. It kind of outlines what the social media plan is. Now, we don't have 10 parts, we just have 3. Okay. The first part, again, which you should start working on and be planning on getting it done to me by Tuesday the 16th, is the sort of background on your client. Okay. Again, I've only had a couple people tell me who their client is, so I need you to get on the ball and get that name to me, please, as soon as possible. So I want to make sure you're doing kind of this right, okay? You also want to look for, if you have your client, you're not going to do an overall plan for them, okay? You want to focus on one promotional kind of idea, okay? But I'll talk about that a little more in a second, okay? So the first part is your client and what they're currently doing and what their background and that kind of stuff. I make some notes over here so I don't forget things, okay? This is the part that's due Tuesday. Just a brief background, okay? Don't give me their life history. Just two couple paragraphs that say, they started in Ottumwa, Iowa, and by 2 people, whatever the case may be, okay? If you're doing a bigger company, just summarize it to some degree. What you really want in that history is sort of like why they started the business, what their goals are, what their missions are. These are things that will help you in creating your plan. For example, I'm going to steal Simone's if she doesn't mind, okay? She's doing Starbucks, okay? So there's a lot going on with Starbucks. What is some key kind of history and facts about Starbucks that's going to help you plan a nice promotion for them, okay? So just a brief background on that. What's the goals of the business and those kind of things. It might be taglines that you've seen in ads for them and things like that, okay? You also need to do some research to find out who their current audience is, okay? Not who you're going to target right in the future, but who their target audience is right now, okay? And it's never everybody, okay? For example, when you think about Starbucks, who do you think their current audience might be? Is it going to be, the poor farm, college kid? No, it's going to be people who have a little money because, their coffees are expensive, $3 or $4 for a cup of coffee. So, and they're a little more frou-frou drinks, so you're going to get those like really, solid coffee drinkers. So you start to get this picture of your audience. I'm much more concerned about the picture of your audience, if you will, than that, percentage of female versus male. Just tell me the average person that they currently reach is, a younger aged, middle to higher income, whatever the case may be. Okay, that's who their current audience is. If you talk to your client, they should be able to tell you that. Okay, if you're doing like Starbucks, like Simone is, you might want to, talk to the local guy and ask him who your client, who their clientele is. Okay, so current target audience. Again, doesn't have to be super long. And then also, you should take a look at what are they currently doing in media, not just social media, but other. How do they get their word out there? Okay, do they do ads on TV and radio or print ads? Do they do that kind of stuff? But also, too, their social media. And I will double check you. So make sure you go on Facebook and Twitter, at least the big ones, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, go for the big ones there and see what they might have out there. Okay. Also, don't be afraid to do like graphics and stuff like, well, not the graphic, here we go, like a chart, okay? So, that you could put down, here's what they're currently doing in Twitter or whatever, okay? It does not have to be written in prose, like long sentences, okay? You'll have some of that, but then don't be afraid to do bullet points and graphics and things like that. Okay? So it doesn't have to read like a research paper. Okay, so you have that information. And then finally, so you line out kind of what they're doing in media. You also should know who their competitors are. Okay? Know who is out there that competes against them. For example, who would be the competitors for Starbucks? Okay? Think about just in this region here. Well, no, you have Einstein Brothers, you have Caribou Coffee at Hy-Vee. I mean, they may not be the exact same kind of clientele, but that's why they exist. But that's what we mean by competition, okay? If you're doing a volunteer organization, let's say Humane Society, you're going to say, well, nobody's competing against Humane Society. Yes, they are. There are other places that people can take their money, and there's other places that people can volunteer and do things for them, things like that. All of those compete with the Humane Society, okay? So think about your company, think about what they do, and think who's their competitors. You don't have to get all of them, but give me 3 or 4 competitors. What are they doing in media, okay? Compare what they're doing in media to what your client is doing in social media, okay? So compare and contrast those kinds of things, okay? And then finally, as the first part there, is go on Facebook, go on Twitter, and do a search. What are people saying? Do a Google search. If nothing else, do a Google search. As if you were working in the business, you would set up a Google alert for your client and keywords so that you could get notification about what people are saying. So you want that in your first chapter. So I know it seems like a lot, but if you go through that outline of the social media plan and you go through that document that you can download that says, Part 1 social media plan, okay, it's all on Northwest Online under social media plan. And if you look at that and then you look at the sample plans, you should get an idea of what to do, okay? So that's the first part. As you work on this, here's what I want you to think about, okay? And this is what I've talked to a couple of you about. And I'm going to use you again, Simone, if you don't mind. We're talking about Starbucks, okay? And they have an upcoming promotion. And I said, well, let's not focus on that one because they're already doing that. There's professionals doing that. We don't want to compete with that idea. It's going to get stuck in your head and you're not going to be able to get rid of it. So let's take maybe the fall or back to school as the time for your promotion, okay? So now, so I don't give Simone ideas. I let her create her own thing. Let's play with that idea if we were doing it, let's say, a New Year's promotion for Starbucks, okay? What are some things that happen in the new year, okay? The number one thing that came to my mind was the idea that that's the time when we all make the New Year's resolutions that we're going to lose weight, right? So what if Starbucks had a promotion at that time about their skinny drinks? I always get a skinny. It's a skinny, grande skinny cinnamon dolce latte is what I always get because it's like 80 calories. If they do those kind of promotions, they're not going to lose people at that time of year. They're even actually going to gain them. And, it's a fun way. That could be totally fun to do. Okay. Another thing to look at is it's very cold at that time of year. So there's obviously some promotions you can do there with, the white hot chocolate, whatever kind of things you want to do with that. So don't do an overarching, I'm going to do Legos. Okay. No, do one promotion. Okay. If you're still looking for ideas for clients, let me know now so we can work to get you up and going because we need to get moving on this. It's a very short turnaround time in the summer for social media strategies. Okay. So I hope this kind of gives you an idea of how to get started on your social media plan. Get your clients to me right away, please. Okay. And again, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. I plan on doing more of these down the line, and it's from feedback that you guys are giving me about what you need. Okay. The other thing I wanted to say is if you want to meet one-on-one, I'm here on campus. I can meet you here at Wells in the library. Okay. If you're off campus and you need face-to-face time, I know how to do FaceTime, okay? I know how to do those kind of things. So don't be afraid to reach out to me. Keep in mind I do sleep, so I'm not a vampire, so I do sleep. So probably 9 to 7 is not a good time to expect me to answer your emails. It's okay to email then, but I doubt if I answer them then, okay? So I hope this helped to focus your idea. Look at those sample plans, look at the outlines, look at the assignment sheet, okay? Let me know if you have any other questions. Thanks.